Good evening. My name is Dr. Yolanda Columbus. For those of you who don't know me, I'm also known as Dr. Yo. And tonight, I just wanted to take a few minutes to go over a few things about the 90-day Momentum Mindset Planner. I've received a few questions. So the purpose of this video is to make sure that everyone is set up to leverage the planner for Q2. Can you believe we're already 8 days in to Q2? So with that being said, here's the structure of the video. I'll start with the purpose behind the journal, and then I'll share my screen and go over the pages for the first 30 days. The purpose. I believe it was 2024 when I read or listened to, I like audiobooks, a 12-week year by Brian Moran and Michael Lennington. And what that is rather than chasing after a goal or goals for 365 days, you chase after a goal for 90 days. And each week represents a month. For me, that works. One, because I like to do new things and routines. I get bored. And so that's why it's 90 days. This particular journal is to bust up those mindsets, those perspectives, those ways of thinking that is getting in the way of you hitting a financial goal. So there is an assumption that you already have a financial goal defined and that you've made at least one attempt to hit that goal. One of my favorite books is by Brian Clemmer, and the title of the book is If How-tos Were Enough, We'd All Be Skinny, Rich, and Happy. So this planner focuses on busting up those perspectives and those mindsets that are getting in the way of the how-tos that you already tried to execute. So in order to do that, there is a daily momentum ritual where you get to check in. And the first 30 days is focused on the mindset detox. Now, the questions on the daily momentum ritual may seem repetitive. And I want to stress that consistency and intentionality is key. It makes a difference. It builds a new habit. It disrupts a pattern of thinking, a pattern of showing up. So the reality is that even as you go after new goals, and particularly financial goals, interactions, conversations, the news, things prick you, they hit an edge, they cause a emotion or a reaction or a thought. And when you're not aware of it, it can often derail the progress or stop the momentum or take you off course and you forget what you were building. However, when we build the habit of stepping back and reflecting, we take back control and we stand in our power. It's easier to stay on course and build momentum. So let me share my screen. Share. So hopefully you guys see the first page. So if you purchase the 90-day version, there's also a 30-day version where it's just the first 30 days in the mindset detox. You'll see the table of contents, and we're just going to start with the overview and focus on the first 30 days. So the overview is this planner is a productivity tool designed to help you hit an audacious and big financial goal. Now, I'm a Christian, so I believe that God exceeds what's possible with him exceeds our wildest imagination. And so We get to be really intentional on who we get to be in order for him to operate in who he is. The mindset, the planner and the mindset detox starts with the be, do, have action plan. So what is that? I think in general, we start with what we want to have, and then we back up and say, what do we want to do? And then we answer the question of who do I get to be once I have this? And I think that's flipped. God has created us, and he has certain virtues and qualities that he wants us to operate in. And so I believe when we start with who do we get to be, and then ask ourselves, well, what would, for me in this season, is I get to be joyful, consistent, and intentional. So then I ask myself, well, what do I get to do? And what are my daily practices to make sure I'm operating in that? And then what will be my reality, or what will I have as a result of that? So let's just go to the planner, the first page, or not page one, but the first page of planning. So in this first box, I would list my virtues: joy, consistency, intentionality. And then in the second box, I would list what do I get to do to practice those. For me, I have a mindset routine and in a morning routine of how I start the day. Designing that is intentional. Doing it every day, 7 days a week, it's consistent. Doing it joyful and fully present, that's the joy. But I get to practice that every day so that throughout my day, that's my foundation. And then what do I get to have? What do I believe this will create? And for me, I believe it will create connection to people and relationships, and it will put me in front of the people who will purchase the products for my financial goal. What is my financial goal? My financial goal for Q2 is to generate $5,000 or more using a few specific income streams. Start date is April 1st. Deadline is the end of Q2. The obstacles that I get to overcome. Now, based on me trying to hit this goal once with these specific income streams, I know one is time management. One is staying focused and not getting distracted. Another one is just finding the resources in the communities that will support me, and that those communities would also be resources. So that's what those two parts are for. Big steps. Big steps could be creating the products or creating a website related to the products. Little steps could be more related to finding a person or having a conversation with a person. And it'll be different for everybody. But that's the first planning. Now, that's the plan for the first 30 days. Each week, I'm focusing on mindset so that my mindset is not getting in the way of my execution. So week 1 is the comparison detox. So at the end of Monday, I'll look at one social media exposure or interaction that triggered doubt and 3 specific ways that I showed up confident. At the end of Tuesday, I'll do the same thing. Wednesday, the same thing. Because the point is to be intentional and consistent about being aware of where this comparison detox may be getting in the way of my execution and me showing up as joyful, intentional, and consistent. What do I do each day? I start each day by doing the 1-3-5 challenge. One core truth. Core truth could be an affirmation. And for me, it will be an affirmation based on a Bible scripture. God did not give me a spirit of fear. 3 excuses to detox. The too busy, what I'm doing is too small, or I'm not enough. And 5 minutes of focused action planning of what will I do today related to this financial goal. And then midday, maybe lunchtime, I just check in. What's been distracting and how can I rewrite it? The point of this is to make sure whatever happened in the morning doesn't derail my whole day. And then in the evening, I look back and I reflect. What did I resist today? What's a small success? Have I minimized? What's one thing I'll do tonight to make tomorrow inevitable? my success tomorrow, and then any daily notes. And I do that every day. That's the first 30 days of consistency. Once we've done that, then we move into the next 30 days. So day 31 to day 60, which is a little different. And I don't want to overwhelm you. So that's all we're going to talk about for right now. And I'll do another recording for day 31 through 60, which will be released to you when you send me the survey to tell me, just let me know how it went and how I can support. All right, that's it for now.